Each actress, each star, had her own favorite piece of music that affected her emotionally. The association of many pieces of music is very ingrained in a lot of people, and these are the pieces we tried to play while the picture was being made. You know, they'd requested musicians and the star would get together and ask for something.
That was very helpful in scenes when we had to be sad and crying. I've always thought that close-ups should be taken first, because then you're fresh and things are spontaneous. But by the time they take a long shot, then a medium shot, a shot here, and a shot there, and then at the very last, they come to the close-ups. Now you're worn out, you've cried, you know, probably the last tear. So we used to have music, and everybody had a favorite piece that they liked that would make them cry. And then we'd be able to squeeze out a few tears with the violinist and as a guy played the organ.
In the beginning, directors had only their personality to rely on. The pioneers had to invent the art of directing as they went along. Several proved to be outstanding filmmakers, but their names have been forgotten. One was John Collins. He married Viola Dana. They became a successful team.
Johnny was almost like, as far as I was concerned, he was almost like a Svengali. He was a very sensitive person, and sensitive with actors. He cut the films, even took over the lighting. He did everything. Wrote the scripts, or if it was an original story, he would rewrite it for the screen.
Collins took an elderly stage melodrama and showed just how cinematic melodrama could be. John Collins might have been one of Hollywood's great names, but he died in the influenza epidemic of 1918. Other young directors were rising rapidly in these early years. One such talented skyrocket was a former chauffeur, Marshal Neilan.
I think he was one of our great directors, and they're going to discover him soon if they can find his pictures. He was very inventive, and he had a marvelous sense of comedy. In those days, you didn't have a script. You just had a little outline. And Marshall was able to invent, as he went along, the most wonderful comedy situations.
I guess, being 92% Irish myself, I guess I can say what happened to him was that he was Irish. And you have to watch the Irish. You have to give them discipline. You have to have them in control of some kind.
Mary Pickford was also Irish. When she gave him his break, critics hailed Neilan as the boy wonder of American films.
Mickey was an extraordinarily attractive imp, I guess you'd have to call him. And everybody was crazy about him. He was as witty a man as I ever knew. And if you're as good-looking as Mickey was and as charming, everybody just fell for him. So Pickford wanted him as a director and got him for a while.
In Neilan's best-known film, Daddy Longlegs, Pickford and Wesley Barry play inmates of an orphanage. They have just consumed the contents of a jar of liquor. Liquor also proved Neilan's undoing. Another of Hollywood's forgotten pioneers was also an Irishman, a painter and sculptor, Rex Ingram. He brought to his films an artist's eye.
Rex worked harder than anyone I've ever seen. He used to run to the set.
Grant Whiteock edited Ingram's Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse and most of his other major pictures.
Characterization was a great thing with him. And also, he created artistic pictures of the lighting and the dressing of the sets.
Ingram's wife, Alice Terry, plays a World War I spy based upon the legendary Mata Hari.
Ingram's work forecast the coming of finesse in movies. I would rank Ingram as #1 director, #1 in the business. He had traces of sophistication that were not seen in films. That's all there was to it. Films were just a childlike, fairy tale quality about most of them. They were made to entertain, and that's that. But Ingram got into nuances and values of the story, of the characters that I don't really know any other director reached that deeply.